Day 1163, just at church getting some work done. So I had a call this morning with Warriors of God and was just talking about like being bold in who God called us to be and being fully self-expressed and being unapologetically ourselves, and saying the things that we need to say, that God is calling us to say, and being who God has called us to be, and the challenge of that. And so that is, I was just like, Lord, just please, Lord, give me a formula. Help me understand and know what it is that I got to teach tonight. And I was like sitting at the table, and I was just like, I was reading Proverbs, and I was like, Lord, what is it? Like, what is it that's missing? What is it that's missing that's going to help these warriors step into their boldness and who you've really called them to be and say the things you've called them to say? And I just felt my spirit, the fear of the Lord. Like, the fear of the Lord is what's missing. And because this morning we went through it, and the reason why they are not unapologetically themselves, they're not fully self-expressed, is because they all fear the judgment of people, which is the same thing for me, and that's pretty much most of us. And so it was just like, it's just like, I felt in my spirit, they're more afraid of people than they are of God. And I was like, okay. And yeah, but Lord, how am I going to teach about off-roading in LA? I was like, Lord, like, how am I going to teach them about the fear of God? Which the fear of God is like the reverence, the awe, the respect. And it's like one of the most important parts of our faith. And I think it's one of the things that's most overlooked, most misunderstood. And so I'm just like, okay, Lord, when did I feel that fear of the Lord, that awe and that respect and that reverence for you? And I remember when I was reading Job, and he was talking about, God was talking to Job about Leviathan, which when you read it, it's the description of a dragon, and it was the biggest, most powerful creature that God has ever created, and it breathes fire, and it was a dragon, like it's a real thing. There's a reason why other cultures, you know, in their history talk about dragons and their religion and all that stuff, because dragons were a real thing, just like giants were a real thing. That's already been proven. And so Leviathan was this massive, indomitable, powerful dragon. And God's describing Leviathan to Job. And then he says, like, who can hook it with a hook? Who can tie its tongue with a rope? Who can have it speak softly to you? Who can who can put it on a leash like a pet? And God is talking about his power and the power that he has, and how powerful he is. And so I went and I Googled pictures of Leviathan and found this one that's super intense. And so I'm going to talk to them about like what worked for me, what transformed my heart in that, when in reading that, is like, look how big and powerful Leviathan is, and it's nothing compared to God. Like, nothing. That God can literally put it on a leash like a pet. Like, it was just like, wow. Like, we just forget the bigness and the power and the awe of God. And that's what fear of God is. It's the awe, it's the reverence, it's the respect. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk about that tonight, because the reality is you're either bowing to the opinion of men or you're bowing to the opinion of God. And you're either afraid of man or you're afraid of God. You either respect man or you respect God. You respect other people's opinion or you respect God's opinion. And when you start to make that shift to where God's opinion is more important to you than other people's opinion, that's when you start to get unlocked. That's when you start to become unapologetically you. And that's when God opens doors to send you into rooms that he knows he can trust you in. And that's what I'm experiencing. And that's what I was talking to them about this morning on the morning call. It's like, these morning calls, I don't even have to prepare for them, because every day I've got such a testimony and a message to teach them and to give them, and a word to give them. And I really want to get back to doing the Bible verses, but God has just given me so much to pour into them. And God was showing me this morning is that there are doors in your life, opportunities in your life that God will not unlock until he knows that you're going to be fully self-expressed in who he's called and created you to be. Because he needs you to walk into that room and be bold and be who he's called you to be. And that's what I'm learning now in this season of my life, is that the more I'm unapologetically me, the more I'm self-expressed in honoring who I am and who God called me to be, the more doors are opening, because my passion is coming through and I'm honoring the Lord. And so he's opening up doors that I've been banging on for a long time, but I couldn't get in. And he's opening them, and I'm walking into the doors and I'm walking into the rooms, and it's like, it's easy. You know, that meeting with that pastor, that was easy. God just opened the door and I walked in, and I was just fully self-expressed, unapologetically me, and it was effortless. Talking to the associate pastor last week and showing him the workbook and everything, like, that was effortless. It was just like this effortless thing, because I was being unapologetically me. The class last night with my pastor watching, just effortless, unapologetically me. And yeah, so I'm just learning that when we're fully self-expressed, when we're unapologetically who God created us to be and not worried about the opinions and judgments of others, then he can trust us in certain rooms. He will open up certain doors that have been closed for a long time, because he's not going to let us go into a room unprepared in our hearts and our minds, because it'll destroy us. Like, it'll destroy us. If I would have had that meeting with that pastor 3 weeks ago instead of a week ago, it wouldn't have gone that way. There's no way, because I wasn't the person that could handle it. I wasn't the person who could be that boldly and powerfully self-expressed. Like, it was just, there's no way it would have gone that way. I wasn't prepared, and God knew it. So yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. Not exactly sure what I'm going to talk about, but I trust that God's going to give me the words and the wisdom, so it'll be powerful.